Number 1. Cuba, a country suspended in time. Havana, the heart of Cuba, is not just the capital, it is the most crowded city in the entire Caribbean, holding nearly 2.5 million lives within its fading yet colorful streets. But behind the music, old cars, and warm smiles, daily life is heavy. For years, Cuba has lived under tight rules and deep economic pain. Salaries are painfully low, food costs bite hard, and even basic medicines feel out of reach. As of August 2025, life here still feels frozen in crisis. The long U.S. embargo, constant power cuts, fuel shortages, and empty shelves turn every single day into a quiet battle for survival, patience, and hope. Number 2. The daily struggle for survival in Cuba. Cuba's power system feels like it's always on the edge of collapse. In October 2024, the unimaginable happened. The entire country went dark for almost a week. 7 long days without light, fans, refrigerators, or phone charging. Then in May 2025, it happened again. Havana and many other provinces were hit, and now power cuts of 15 to 20 hours a day have become normal. Hospitals struggle to treat patients. Children can't study at night. And as if this wasn't enough, nature showed no mercy. Hurricane Idalia in 2023 destroyed thousands of homes and massive farmlands. Imports are limited, prices are rising, and rice, oil, and meat now cost 15 to 30% more. The peso has crashed. On the street, $1 can cost 400 pesos. Inflation is near 30%. Many people earn just $10 to $40 a month. Nearly 9 out of 10 Cubans live in extreme poverty. Rations are tiny. Milk is limited. Everything else is too expensive. Rich and poor live worlds apart. And when asked why life is so hard, most Cubans give one answer: the embargo. Comment 2 if you're still with me, and let's continue. Number 3. The complex world of Cuba. Unlike the lively, neon-lit pleasure streets you might see in Hamburg, Germany, or Pattaya, Thailand, Cuba follows a very different rhythm. There are no flashy districts glowing red at night, no single street buzzing with noise and lights. Instead, it feels like an old, quiet town. Women stand here and there, scattered across the streets, blending into everyday life. Visitors often say the system feels informal and unstructured. In Havana, services aimed at tourists are not locked into one official zone. They appear wherever tourists walk, especially around the city center and Old Havana. When these women notice you're a visitor, they often start a friendly conversation. Many first introduce themselves as massage therapists, creating a thin line between what's legal and what's quietly implied. Massage and spa work is legal in Cuba, and prices are openly displayed. This openness creates a strange mix where legal services and subtle invitations exist side by side. Many work with European tourists and earn $50 to $75 a day, far more than the average Cuban monthly salary of $10 to $40. Number 4. The jineteras of Cuba. These services are often misunderstood. In Cuba, it's not always about desire alone. Many tourists hire what feels more like a paid girlfriend experience. You can meet these women, share meals, visit bars or discos, laugh, talk, and spend time together. Intimacy may happen, but it's not always the focus. Some women do this part-time. They are known locally as jineteras. They have their own personal lives, jobs, and responsibilities. But because life is economically harsh, they form paid friendships with tourists to survive. For them, it's less about luxury and more about making ends meet in a difficult system. Number 5. The ration system and the black market. In Cuba, daily food depends on a ration card system called Libreta, used since the 1960s to give basic supplies to families. But as the economy weakens, these rations keep shrinking. In 2024, people could buy 80 grams of bread per day. Now, it's down to just 60 grams. This is nowhere near enough to survive. Families must buy extra food from street sellers or shops at very high prices. That's why secret markets exist. People quietly sell food and medicine brought from outside official channels. These sales are illegal, and getting caught can mean prison. For many, the choice feels cruelly simple: break the law or go hungry. Number 6. The mystery of Cuba's internet system. If someone asked which country lives the least online, Cuba would easily top the list. Internet life here feels slow, rare, and heavy. Cuba has one of the weakest internet systems in the world. Around 70 to 73% of people can access the internet, mostly through mobile phones, but that access comes with serious limits. Internet in Cuba is a luxury, not a basic need. 1 hour of public Wi-Fi costs about $2, while the average monthly salary is only $17 to $30. Even a simple 3G connection feels expensive. Forget about 4G or 5G, they are almost non-existent for ordinary people. Too many users connect to one network at the same time, making speeds painfully slow. Cubans often joke that the internet moves slower than a turtle. Watching videos, attending online meetings, or sending large files is frustrating. Freezing screens and endless buffering are part of daily life. Working online from Cuba requires extreme patience and low expectations. To make things harder, Cuban citizens can't freely download apps from Apple or Google stores. So people found another way. For years, Cubans have shared movies, apps, music, and software using USB drives. This created a quiet underground digital world, where data is passed hand to hand, not through the cloud. Number 7. The Daily Odyssey. Public transport is another quiet struggle in everyday Cuban life. Those famous vintage American cars from the 1950s and 60s are not just pretty for photos. They work as shared taxis, running on fixed routes, packed tightly with people sharing both space and cost. Inside, engines roar, bodies press together, and conversations float, from food prices to baseball scores. Then come the guaguas, the public buses. Waiting for one means standing under the hot Caribbean sun with no clear idea when it will arrive. Yet, something beautiful happens there. People help each other climb in, give up seats, and show kindness shaped by hardship. While tourists ride comfortably in air-conditioned taxis, local residents spend hours just trying to move across the city. Every journey becomes a small test of patience, planning, and resilience, an everyday adventure just to get from one place to another. Number 8. Cuban cigars. Cuban cigars are known around the world as symbols of luxury, power, and fine craftsmanship. Names like Cohiba instantly bring images of wealth and elegance. But behind this shine lies a story that feels heavy and unfair. A single high-quality Cuban cigar can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, putting it far beyond the reach of ordinary people. Yet the hands that create this luxury belong to workers who live very modest lives. Making a Cuban cigar is not simple. It involves more than 500 careful steps, from selecting perfect tobacco leaves to rolling each cigar by hand. Cohiba cigars began in the 1960s, after Fidel Castro discovered a unique cigar made by an artisan named Eduardo Rivera. A special factory was built near Havana, and Cohiba soon became the most famous cigar brand on earth. Today, Cuban cigars are sold in more than 150 countries, and Havana hosts an annual cigar festival filled with wealth, glamour, and international guests. Number 9. Poor service. Walking into a restaurant in Cuba can feel surprisingly cold. Don't expect quick service or cheerful smiles. Many visitors notice that friendliness often fades once workers start their shift. For tourists used to warm, attentive service, this can feel disappointing. There are a few tourist-focused places where staff are trained and service feels professional, but these spots are rare. In most restaurants, service is slow and distant. This isn't because people are unkind. It comes from deeper problems: low salaries, limited supplies, hard-working conditions, and daily economic pressure. When survival becomes the main focus, service naturally loses its warmth. Number 10. Cuban immigration to other countries. Cuban migration tells a painful story of struggle and separation. Leaving the country is not easy. The government places heavy paperwork, high fees, and strict rules on citizens who want to go abroad or keep their documents valid. Many Cubans overseas feel cut off from their homeland. During 2022 to 2023, hundreds of thousands tried to enter the United States without papers, marking one of the largest migration waves in years. Many travel first to Nicaragua, then rely on smugglers, paying up to $7,000, an impossible sum for people earning very little. Families are torn apart, and hope comes wrapped in danger, fear, and uncertainty. Number 11. The deep-rooted reasons for the U.S. embargo. Cuba often calls the U.S. embargo a never-ending storm, one that has hovered over the island for more than 60 years. It began after the 1959 Cuban Revolution, when Fidel Castro overthrew the U.S.-backed leader Fulgencio Batista. Soon after taking power, Castro's government took control of land, factories, and major companies, many of them owned by American businesses, without full compensation. The United States reacted with anger and refused to recognize the new government. Tensions exploded further in 1961 with the failed Bay of Pigs invasion, when U.S.-supported Cuban exiles tried and failed to remove Castro. From that moment, the relationship turned openly hostile. The U.S. accused Cuba of being undemocratic, while Cuba accused the U.S. of interference and punishment. When Washington cut sugar imports and trade, Cuba turned toward the Soviet Union for support. This alliance led to the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, the most dangerous moment of the Cold War. Soviet nuclear missiles were placed in Cuba, just miles from Florida, while U.S. missiles sat in Europe. The world stood on the edge of nuclear war. Eventually, both sides removed their missiles, but the U.S. embargo stayed. Over the decades, every U.S. president kept the embargo mostly intact. Presidents once tried to buy Cuba 4 times. Each offer was refused. History chose conflict instead, and its impact is still felt today. Number 12. Why does Vietnam always help Cuba? Our final, and perhaps most surprising, story is about the deep, emotional bond between Vietnam and Cuba. While the United States, just miles away from Cuba, has opposed it for decades, Vietnam, thousands of miles across the world, has always stood beside it like family. In August 2025, the Vietnam Red Cross launched a campaign celebrating 65 years of Vietnam-Cuba solidarity. By October, it raised nearly $25 million. For a developing nation, this was not just generosity, it was a powerful statement of loyalty and shared history. This bond was built through sacrifice. In 1969, when President Ho Chi Minh passed away, Cuba declared 7 days of national mourning. Very few countries would ever do that for a foreign leader. During the height of the Vietnam War, Fidel Castro even traveled through active battle zones to visit the front lines. Cuba committed massive support, building hotels, farms, hospitals, and sending cows, medicine, and experts when Vietnam needed it most. Cuba helped build bridges, hospitals, and roads. It sent vaccines when Vietnam faced deadly shortages, saving countless children's lives. Many healthy adults today are alive because of Cuban medical help decades ago. Even during times when both countries were isolated by embargoes, they continued to support each other quietly and consistently. This story reveals a Cuba rarely shown in travel videos, a nation struggling, yet fiercely loyal, generous, and brave. It reminds us that beyond politics, real human friendships can shape history. What surprised you most about this story? Does it change how you see Cuba? Share your thoughts below. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so we meet again in the next video. Thank you for staying with us. Your support truly means everything.